Paul Weisenfeld leads the Bureau of Food Security for USAID, which is short for the U.S. Agency for International Development. He's based in Washington, but we talked with him during a recent visit to the OSU campus.
When we think about food security on a global stage, part of it is that food safety issue, but the larger part of it, if again our focus is poverty and undernutrition, the focus on food security for us globally is making sure that people have access to nutritious food so they can lead reasonable lives.
Paul says 98% of those going hungry live in developing countries.
I know that as an American that I think of Americans as the most generous people on the planet, and when we see that kind of suffering, our hearts go out and people want to respond. So a lot of what we're doing is engaging and trying to lead that response in dealing with high levels of poverty and undernutrition in these countries. And the technology that American farmers have in Oklahoma and Ohio and Kansas and Iowa and the capabilities that they have are things that we want to tap into and bring to bear to address these problems.
One way to make an impact is the Farmer to Farmer volunteer program, which takes American producers overseas to share their techniques.
In the last year, I believe it was 7 farmers from Oklahoma participated in that program, and that provides real on-the-ground knowledge. People want to hear from farmers how to do things, so Americans have that capability at the best in the world.
And sharing that information can make a big impact.
If you think about the crisis in the Horn of Africa in the last year, where 13.3, something like that, million people were at risk of starvation from the worst drought in the last 60 years. I think Americans and people globally were very interested in saving those lives. And where people see that kind of suffering, they want to step in and save lives, and they want their government to do something about it. But what we really want people to know on top of that, yes, it's important to save lives, and we'll always be there to do that, but we have the technology and tools to do better than that, to prevent those kind of crises from happening by these kinds of farmer-to-farmer exchanges, by making sure that people know that smart investments of resources can help people can help smallholder farmers increase their productivity so that they can feed themselves and their children and send their children to school.
To find out more about the Farmer to Farmer volunteer effort, log on to sunup.okstate.edu.